Oh my giddy aunt. Oh, hello. Well, today we're doing an assembly, not a disassemble, 25, don't worry. No, an assembly. An assembly of the SainSmart Genmitsu 440 Reno CNC router machine. That was sent to me from SainSmart. Yeah, by SainSmart. And I did a unboxing of this, which was really quite sort of unboxing first impressions. And I am actually very impressed in its quality. I haven't got the thing up and running yet, obviously, because it's in bits. But also, I haven't actually tried it either, obviously, because it's in bits. Anyway, while you're here, please boop the old like button. And this particular little machine, it's a little bit different to some CNC machines because it's got a belt drive system instead of like a worm gear, you know, like threaded rods where the things are sliding down because the rods are twisting. So it's not quite the same as what I've seen before. Now I've got my box of bits. I've got my manual. Yeah, I've already started putting it together because I messed up. I was making my video, talking to the camera, and well, guess what? The microphone hadn't connected. It was on the wrong sound card. But anyway, you know, shit happens. But there you go. So this particular machine there. It's all aluminium, like extrusions, and looks like it's been nicely anodised and that, and you've got your belts and what have you, cables. So I've already attached one end. Now, I was going to disassemble it to do it all over again for the video. I thought, so hang on, this size is pretty much the same. So, you know, we'll do it once, the same for the other side. So, the left-hand side here of the this axis, which is the x-axis, and these are the y-axis. Now, when you look at the manual, it's very simple. It's step by step, okay? Now, there's a few little things you want to just make sure you do, but I'll try and point them out as we go along. So I'm going to move you over to the overhead camera in a minute, but I'll first show you what the machine should end up looking like. And it should look like that. That is the Genmitsu 440 Reno desktop CNC machine. Yeah, make your little signs and well, you cut out jigs and that for your jigs for your router systems, and yeah, it'd be really useful. You create hinge jigs and all sorts of stuff, couldn't you? So that's what it is, and also this is the price. The price is, wait for it, drum roll. There we go. A retail $440.95, but currently it's at $352.76. It's pretty much available worldwide. You can get it on Amazon as well, but I will leave a link down in the description for you. So anyway, what we're going to do is we are going to assemble the CNC router. Sounds like a plan to me. So I'll just go over what we've done so far. Now, like I say, this happens to be the x-axis. This one here, this one that goes across, and you attach the actual CNC router head to this. Now I notice this belt is a bit on the loose side, so that needs tightening up. Now there's 4 screws in this end, and they're M5 25mm long, and it's pretty much the same in the opposite side. The only thing is, one of the screws, I believe, is not the same for some reason, because they said we need, for the next stage, if I'm looking at stage 2, so what do I need? Oh, hang on. 1M16. What's that one for? No, that's confusing. M8, no, it's 1M8 80mm. Oh, hang on. That's a small socket head cap screw. But it doesn't show you here where that goes, which is a bit confusing. So I don't know where that goes yet. Not yet, anyway. We will find out. Ah, it goes on this end of the actual. Let's get that over here a bit. Let's see. Moving that all over there without tipping out the box bits. That would be really annoying. And on this side here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't see them. You say there you can. There, and there. All right, and then you've got this bolt sticking at the end as well. And that has to be attached to that. Like that. Hang on, belt's in the way. Okay, how are we going to do that? Well, it's actually really simple. You've got a little tiny slot just there in the end there. Can you see that? Little oval slot, and that goes in there. Okay? So you've got to try and manoeuvre that. So ideally, you want another pair of hands, ideally. So that goes in there like so. And one of the screws that go in the end there is the M18, which is one of the ones at the top, I believe. So what I'll do is I'll put the one on the bottom first, just so I can hold it. It's a bit fiddly. There to there. Right, so once I've got one in there, I can have a closer look at the manual and make sure I'm actually putting them in the right holes. If you know what I mean. Right. One of the ones up the top is an M18. Now, where is... I've got a little loop here. Somewhere. Go and find my little loop. There's my little loop. Because it's so blooming tiny, the writing is. So I've got a little loop. I can have a look to see what that is. Ah, I can see it. I believe it's the one on the right. The little lines don't actually, you can't see it on there because it's really washed out on there. Let me just see if I can make it a little bit darker there so you can kind of see. Ooh. I'll move it over this way a bit so it's a bit better. That's it. There's a series of little lines there that line up with the screws, but everything's so small. I had the same problem with this with the other one, my lasers. These don't actually even line up over there. Both the bottom ones and the left hand one. So the right hand one, they're the... Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense now. Now, that one is a 25. Okay. So the two on the left, as you're looking at the stepper motor, that is the stepper motor here. I know you can't see it that well. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get this camera. Now, you could use a battery screwdriver, but make sure your ratchet is set low so you don't end up causing problems, ripping out the threads and that because you're putting too much power into it. I'm not doing it tight at this stage, just hand tight. Just what I did on the other side. I keep dropping it. I have carpal tunnel syndrome, so I drop things. Like I have had the surgery, but it's not perfect. Much better than it was, mind. I think sometimes, you know, when a kit, you know, there's an assembly involved to put something together, I would have thought it'd be a good idea to make sure the tools you supply are actually of a standard that makes the job easier. You know, not crazy expensive, but you know, a half decent, maybe I don't know, a T hex screw or something like that. At least have a bit better quality than that one. To be fair, these things like to be used once and get chucked away, don't they? You know. So that is on there, right? That looks sort of anti-dory there, right? So move backwards and forwards on there. Don't be crazy. Aim it very slowly because it's not, you're not really meant to do that. Okay. Move it manually like so. Because you put all that tension on the belt. So when you tighten these, corner to corner, you've got an order. There's an order of tightening in the manual. So it says like 1, 2, 3, 4. So usually it's across the opposite, so you don't end up cranking over one side. And so next stage, all right, step 2. We have step 2, and it says here installing the aluminium profiles, which I imagine are the 2 cross rails that link. I'll tell you what, let's move a bit high up so you can see it a bit better. There you go. Right, there's 2 cross rails, one at this end and one at that end. Alright, so concentrate on the front one first. And we have these 2 things here, and it says our side. Not that one. I imagine that it goes there then, like so. Unscrew the 2 cup head screws in the slider nut at the bottom of the Y-axis model. Oh, I see. There's a they call it a slider. It's not a slider. It's, if I remember rightly, that will be a hammerhead screw. And bring you down. Oh, here we go. Going through the works. There we are. I'm going to bring down there. Can you see? There you are. Right, it's quite handy, that camera. And underneath there's a screw just there attached. We've got to remove them. I'll have to do it on both sides. Right, sorry about the light. Right. There's one. I'm going to do the same on the other side. That one. Okay, that one's done. And now I imagine there's a hammer, what you call a hammerhead. I'm saying there is, but I haven't looked yet, but I imagine there is. There should be an end of this rail somewhere. See that? Ah, can you see that little bit of metal in there? We call that a hammerhead. That sort of slots into the little slot, and it's got a threaded hole in it for the screw to go into. They're quite common. So it says here we need 8 M5 25s. So we need 8 M5 25s. These are the M5 25s. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's another one in there. There's a stranded one. Just make sure, yeah, there's 8 there. Okay, let's put that over there. So there'll be 2 for this end and 2 for the other side. Now imagine this nut's got to go back in again, this bolt here. I imagine. Otherwise, why is it there? Or is it something to do with the feet? Ah, maybe it's for the feet to go on. Now, it shows on the drawing that there's a smooth side up and a smooth side to the front. Now, this is the wrong one, I think. I think the front one here, that says our side. I think it's this one. It says that one out. So I imagine it's the front. I might be wrong. This is our side. So this screw here, the one we took out a moment ago, we need to put back in. And we're going to thread that into there, like so. And into that hammerhead. Yes, it's fiddly. Ideally, you'd turn the machine upside down, wouldn't you? But I haven't. No. Oh, there somewhere. Do. Right. Okay. Move that microphone around a bit so you can hear me. Right, I've got that screw in. I don't know if you can see that, but I've kind of got it in there. Okay. I'll tighten that up a bit later. And I've got to do the same on the other side. One over here. Exactly the same. There's something. It's not there, it's not there. Right. It's fiddly. Take my hands on it. They work as hands are. So it's flat face. That's where the fixings go for the actual balls on the top, you see. So that needs to go that way, but that way. Hoping that I am. Now let's get into that hammerhead. Oops. And now I've got to do the other side. A bit fiddly to get in, aren't they? Those hammer screws. Good. Don't make me dizzy there. Look, next one. There's that one here. Now the ends of these rails are flush with the ends of the extrusions on the ends. So you can see it's coming along, can't you? I've got to put the feet on yet at the bottom there. Well, I think we've got to put these front screws in first. So this is the Genmitsu Reno 440. Right, there's a pro version of this, and that does have the threaded rods instead of this belt drive system. Just trying to prove a point that you can put it together using the tools supplied. And if I can't, well then, that's not very good. So the alignment can be a bit hard on these screws, to be fair. So bear that in mind when you're putting it together. If 2 screws here need to go in the front, hopefully they'll line up straight away. Oh, I might do. Might be lucky. Am I lucky? Yeah, that's gone straight away, that one has. That's good. And we've got to do the same on the opposite side. And that'll be the actual frame together. So you want them tight, but you don't want to wring them. You want so tight you end up ripping the threads, don't you? That'd be silly. You do have to move this out of the way. Move it slowly. Don't just whiz it backwards and forwards. Go slow. Obviously, it's going to be a long video, so skip forward to the bits that are of interest to you. Alright, so far so good. Bash things about it. Right, so we have all 4 corners bolted together and I've tightened them up. You need to line the actual x-axis with the y-axis at 90 degrees. So you've got a bottom rail here. So what you want to do is line that up. You can stand above it and do it if you want. I'll do a separate video for that. I'll do an alignment video. Okay, so what's next then? Okay, and we need to attach the feet. Right, so we've got these two here. Got a wire over here on your camera. Right, there's a tiny little hole then. There's a little tiny little hole there. On it. Well, there's one each shoulder actually. So if we grab the box, there should be some little M3 screws in there. Right, we've got the feet. So here, that's the tensioner we'll be using later. This is the feet. And these are the little M3 Allen screws. I imagine we need 4 of those. Yeah, 4. There should be another Allen key because that's really tiny. You just push it right down until you feel the screw hole. You should be able to tighten that into there. There's no washers needed according to this. Right, there you go. Right, so I'm going to flip this back round again, the right way up this time, or right way round, as in front and back. We shouldn't have let that happen, as in roll back like that. So, there we go. We have our assembly here for the Z-axis. So you've got the X and the Z. The Z's the up and down. This goes on there, which is the spindle. So we've got this little spindle here, which basically looks like a little motor with a spindle attached with an Allen key there, and your collar, what have you, will go inside there. It has a screw arrangement here for the rise and fall. And that's normally what you would have here, to be fair. But this particular machine's got a belt drive. I imagine it's going to be quite smooth. So that is going to be mounted on it. Right, probably. There's two mounting positions, it seems. There's a lower mounting position and an upper mounting position. I don't know if they were supposed to be or what, but that looks like it. Interesting. Right, snap the Z-axis module into the X-axis slider and make sure they fit together. Well, we know they. Well, yeah. What size screws we want? M5 14s, and they're the domed head. These ones here, I imagine. And there's 1, 2, 4 of those which we've got. Well, there's definitely 2 positions for it. These are clearance holes because there's screws on the face here. Yeah, and they're to clear it. Now, do you mount it high or do you mount it low? Ah, different heights. The steps are the same as steps. Okay, depending on what you're doing. So basically, you just fit it wherever I can for the moment. Yeah, so we're going to go for that one for the moment because then we can just get it together, get it installed. And I advise getting some decent Allen keys. I just want to prove that you get everything in the kit. I haven't used anything of my own yet. I just that's tight. See, you've got this adjustment here, so you can adjust it up and down to make your life a bit easier when you're actually trying to get these screws in to make it a little bit easier. But isn't that nice? You know what? This all comes together. How it's all together there. It's not rubbish, is it? And what's the next stage? Inserting the actual boards, because I've effectively done. I think we've done all the mechanics other than inserting the boards. So what we'll do is move these out of the way because I don't want to hide everything. And we've got 2 boards to install. Okay, might put you onto the other camera. We can whiz between the 2. So this is what it looks like so far. You got your X-axis, Y-axis, and then you've got your Z-axis, which is the up and down. Quite difficult to get the exposure right doing this video because light is reflecting off here. So it's sending the camera a little bit loopy. So anyway, we've got these 2 boards. Okay, now if you're wondering what all those little holes are, then we ain't got to worry about those. They are the captive screws. Basically what they do is allow you to clamp things down. Yeah, so it's that way up. So all these little nuts you see there, little captive nuts, need to go on the bottom. The idea is when you use the little clamps, you're pulling through the board and not trying to pull it out of the board. So this is purely for the mechanics. The electrics we're going to do in a separate video. So that'll be the next one. Shouldn't be too difficult to align because you're going to be lining with the screw holes that are there, and then you've got to find the all little screws to hold it down. These ones, I imagine. I wonder what these screws are for. Oh, they're to do with the clamps. You've got a series of clamps to use, which are them, the 22mm M5s. So these basically have to go in there, and there's a lot of them. Well, I say soon, what, 12? Now, this board on here, my advice for that would be, and I might still do that, MDF swells, okay? And if you're going to use this in a workshop or something, might have a little bit of dampness in there, I would say you should actually give it a bit of sealer, just to seal it from the moisture. So I'm not going to screw all those down, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. So basically, there's loads of screws at the back here to go in as well, and that screws them to these two cross rails. So I'm going to leave that at that point. You get the gist, I'm sure. That just screws down to those two cross rails at the front here. So there, that is the Genmitsu 440 CNC route as the Reno, which has the belt drive, not the screw drive. The screw drive is more like this here, but they'll be on these two x-axis here, no, y-axis here. So yeah, quality-wise, from what I can see, went together relatively easy. A little bit fiddly getting the screws on the end. You got to kind of like get a little bit not wetty, but you know, you got to kind of manipulate it a little bit to get the screws in. But I suppose that's understandable. Don't forget the top belt here is clearly loose. Yeah, on the x-axis, that's definitely loose. But there's a tensioner to be installed, which will be probably installed, I imagine. That'll be installed on there like that. We're not ready for that yet. There's mic switches and stuff like that. I think there's spare mic switches to come with it. But the next video, we're going to be doing the cabling and tidying up the cabling. There isn't a lot of cabling to do on it, but we're going to do that in the next video because these videos end up getting way too long. And I'm going to have to edit this one just to chop it down a little bit, otherwise people get bored. They fall asleep. So one last look from above. So that is, there you go, here's the Genmitsu. Don't forget, I didn't pay for this machine. It was, so it is technically a sponsored video, but, you know, my thoughts are my thoughts. Nobody else's. You can't control me. You can try, but you know how it is. Yeah, I'm not having any of it. So, it's nice. It's nice. But the proof being in the pudding, and obviously see what the potential ability, I suppose, ability, any potential hiccups that I come across while using it. So far, I'm quite impressed. The fact you get everything in a nice little box like that makes a lot of sense. Makes life easy. Everything's together. You have an understanding of where things go. So there you go. Please boot the old like button though. You know, it helps the channel, you know. And maybe a little bell icon, because then you get one best thing in your pocket every time I upload another video. But for me, I'm going in, I'm tired. Yeah. Toodaloo. Or should I say toodle-pip? Toodle-pip or toodaloo? You tell me. Leave in the comments down below.